All right, so today we're going to go through a skill, a solution, and a set, and we're going to be improving freestyle breathing while using a snorkel. So the problem, so poor breathing in freestyle can really wreck a stroke. It can impair propulsion because if the head's coming off the line, that means the shoulders are going to go with it, and that the arms are probably going to go with that too. So it's going to be much more difficult to enter cleanly. And if you don't enter cleanly and the arms are in the wrong positions, it's going to be difficult to set up the stroke. Can't set up the stroke, you're going to have a tough time getting a good pull, and it just kind of falls apart from the beginning. No matter what the athlete does, they're not going to be in a good position to do good things. The second issue is it's going to disrupt alignment. So if the head comes up, the hips go down, no good. The head goes to the side, then the shoulders are going to go to the side, and the hips are going to slide to the other side, and that's really going to cause a problem with alignment. Also not good. Then timing becomes an issue too. If the breath takes longer than it should, that's going to negatively impact both propulsion and alignment because the body's not going to be in a good position to do anything that needs to get done. So that's why breathing is so important in freestyle. And so sometimes you see athletes that are really, really good at a 50 freestyle, primarily because they're not breathing, and then they're much less successful in a 100 freestyle, not so much because of the fitness element, although that could be part of it. A lot of the times is that they're not good at breathing, and it really disrupts their stroke. When they don't have to breathe in a 50, they can be successful. When they have to breathe, they're in trouble. So, what typically doesn't work? Well, basically, instruction. Whatever someone's doing feels normal to them, and they assume that they're doing things well. They don't realize that they're breathing high, they don't realize that they're breathing slow, and they don't realize that they're breathing by pulling the head to the side. They think their breath is low, fast, and straight. Unfortunately, it's not. And the other issue is that many of these changes are small, and so you can't really tell someone move your head 10 degrees to the left. It doesn't really resonate with people, and it's just difficult to really get where the breath should be. The other issue with any change is that things never feel like they think they should, and so a really small change is going to feel really big, and that's going to prevent them from changing in the way that they want. Lastly, and most importantly, constant reminders are going to be necessary to get the changes that everyone wants. And that requires constant reminders for the athlete to remind themselves to do it, and then also you as a coach to remind the athlete to do it. And that becomes really difficult and really hard to manage, especially with large groups. A solution, use a snorkel. The value of it is that it lets them feel effective breathing. And what I mean by that is that because there's no breath, there's no disruption to the stroke by either having a breath that's high, to the side, or slow. Using a snorkel can let them feel what it's like to have zero disruption to the stroke because of the breath. By creating that sensory awareness, they now have a target that they can aim for. They know what good breathing feels like so that they can try to replicate it when they breathe. The most effective way to use this is simply to perform repetitions with a snorkel and then alternate with repetitions without a snorkel using whatever breathing pattern makes sense. You can do this in any context, whether that's fast swimming, slow swimming, aerobic swimming, race-paced swimming, anything you want to do, that basic strategy can be effective. Here's a set to illustrate those concepts. So we have a series of 50s. They're going to alternate with a snorkel and without a snorkel, and the breathing pattern is going to change. So breathing every 5, the breath is less frequent, so it's going to be more similar to the snorkel. And then breathing every 3, it's a little bit more frequent. And then you're going to breathe left, right by 25. And the last one is with preferred breathing pattern. And so the other aspect of it is each round gets a little bit faster. And I like to do different breathing patterns because that helps them feel the difference between the left and the right and then move towards the preferred breathing pattern at the end. As you move through a season and they get better and better at these skills, you can just focus on locking in the preferred breathing pattern because that's going to be more specific to what they want to do. Now, you could use any sorts of repetition distances. You could use any sorts of speeds. You can vary these different types of breathing in any way you want. You can use training aids. It's just an example of the concept of giving them a clear target from which to execute the skill by having a snorkel on, taking it off, trying to make the breath as seamless as possible, and then going back and forth between the two. So this is one strategy that you can use to help someone improve. So this is one strategy that you can use to help someone improve their breathing in freestyle by using a snorkel. Best of luck, and definitely let me know how you choose to use it and some of the sets you come up with.